What's up guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this Mother's Day card from scratch in Cricut Design Space. It's a super easy beginner's project that you can customize at home. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is grab our square shape. We're just under the shape panel over here. We're going to grab a square, and I think we're going to make this card 5x5 today. We're just going to do one side of the card at a time, just a little bit easier to work with to see all the layers we have going on here and to center everything. So next we're going to grab a circle. I'm going to put that on top and just kind of measure it out. Probably about there is pretty good. I'm going to grab those two layers and I'm going to align them so that the circle is centered to the square. So we're going to center vertically and center horizontally. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to duplicate our circle layer. And I'm actually going to make this one just slightly bigger. You'll see why in a little bit. So let's make this 3.9. Just slightly bigger. We're going to grab that as well and center everything here. So again, center horizontally, center vertically. I'm going to grab the bigger one and place underneath just to take a look at how big our border is here. That's pretty good for us to work with today. So the next thing we're going to do is hide our outer circle. And just to keep things organized here, let's rename this so we can keep track. And I'm going to grab my text tool and we're going to write mommy for this one. So I'm using the font called Alicia. What you're looking for in a font is one that has all the letters connected. So it doesn't have to be cursive, but you do have to find a way to connect all the letters so it's not free hanging from the card. So this one's great because again, all letters are connected. I'm going to resize this. And I just am looking to place it in a way that it is readable, but also attached to both sides of my circle here to make sure that, again, the letters are not just free hanging, that it's actually attached to the card. Let's grab our inner circle and our square and let's do a slice. Delete one of those. I'm going to hide the other one. We're going to use that again later. There, you can see that a little bit better there. I'm going to grab my sliced layer with the circle cut out, and I'm going to grab my text layer and I'm going to weld those two. So now that becomes one cohesive piece. Next, let's jazz it up a little bit. So I'm going to add some floral elements to it. And to do that, I'm actually going to go to the images panel here. And I'm going to search for something. So let's look for vines floral. And you can see here in Cricut Access, there's tons of options, but what you're really looking for is something that will attach well, that doesn't have too many intricate parts or free flowing parts. So as an example, something like this could work, but the lines are going to be very, very small, so it may not cut properly. And something like this has tons of little parts that aren't going to work very well because they're all going to cut out in little tiny pieces. So we're not looking for those. We want something like this. I'm going to add that to our canvas. Now this one is only included in Cricut Access, but I mean, you can find anything online and use it for the project. We're just using the image panel here to make things a little bit quicker today. I'm going to zoom in to make this a little bit easier to work with. And let's resize this. Okay, and we will duplicate that. And then we're going to flip this horizontally. So we have one on the other side. And we're going to line everything up here. So I don't like to do things manually by eye just because it can be difficult to see how everything lines up. So I'm grabbing both of the floral layers here. And I'm going to line them to the bottom. That makes sure that they're on the same level. And then we're going to grab these two, we're going to attach them so they don't move, and we're going to select our square layer with the floral layer, and we are going to align center vertically, center horizontally. That centers it for us right in the center there. And we can bring this down now that we know that that is centered to our card here. I'm just moving that down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this layer because we're going to need this again. And the really annoying thing about Cricut is that when you duplicate something, it doesn't do it right on top. We need the position to be exactly where this one is. So I'm going to head over to More and grab the X and Y position and just paste that onto the other one. And that just makes sure that it is actually right on top of each other. Perfect. Now we're going to work with one floral layer at a time. So we're going to hide one of them, and we're going to grab one of them, and we're going to grab our outer layer. So let's work with that first. So I'm going to hide this so you can see this a little bit better. I'm going to grab the outer layer, and I'm going to grab these two layers now. Oh, we have to detach this. And we are going to slice each flower out of the circle individually. So I'm going to slice that. And we're looking to keep this bottom section here. So we can delete any of these top parts. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So we're going to slice. And now we can get rid of our circle and remove the two top parts. Now we're going to show our square piece again. And we're going to grab each of those two layers that we just cut out with our square piece. And we are going to go to combine and subtract. And you can see that it just like did a die cut and cut it out, which is awesome. All right, now for the other part. So let's hide that and show these two so we can work with the inner circle and the other floral layer. We're going to detach this again. And we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to keep the top part. So we're going to remove this bottom part. We can remove the circle now. So now we have the top part. And we're going to grab everything and we are going to weld it together. Awesome. Now the reason why we have that outer layer and inner layer, you're going to see now that there's this extra little rim going around the card here, if you follow my cursor. And that just helps the two pieces connect. So again, that this part sticking out here is not just going to collapse on the card. It's actually going to be connected to the card. So we gave it a little point of connection. So this is our top layer. So we can now add another one. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Let's do 4.95. And this is just going to be the insert at the back. I'm just going to make this a different color so you can see. We are actually going to need another square piece that is 5 by 5. Let's grab those, arrange to the top. I'm just looking to make sure that this says 10. Perfect, 10 by 5. And we're going to combine, weld. Awesome. Now, if you wanted, you could also add a score line. So you could go to shapes and grab the line shape and draw one at the 5 point here and then make that a score line. But for these kinds of things, I'm just going to use my bone folder and do that manually. But if you wanted the Cricut to do that extra step for you, you could put that in here and use your scoring tool instead. Great. And yeah, and you can customize this. You can add a name if you wanted to. You can add more designs if you wanted to. And you can also place, an image underneath when you glue this together. So yeah, I just glue the square base to our top layer here, and then I score along the 5-inch mark to put it together, and that's it. I think it looks awesome, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. And until next time, bye!